happy with it?
Yes.
Do you feel sassy?
I always feel sassy.
Yes, she's sassy.
Hands high, wave it in his face, tell him boy bye.
Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started. So as always, I'm going to start by priming the face. Today I'm using Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm, and I'm just going to work this in her face with my fingers. I like using the warmth of my fingers to apply this. I think it works the best. Then I'm going to take my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Liquid Illuminator. I'm going to put this on because Kara likes for her foundation to be fairly matte, but I didn't want it to be flat. So I'm just going to apply this so we have a little bit of shimmer underneath. And if that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense. And then I'm going to blend this in with an Artiste brush dupe. I got this on Amazon. I absolutely love it, and it works just as well as the actual Artiste. Then I'm going to go in with Tarte's Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. This foundation is so good for oily skin, you guys. It keeps it matte all day long. It stays put. It does not move. I absolutely love it, and it looks beautiful on Kara's skin. I'm just going to be applying this first with a Real Technique sculpting brush, my favorite foundation brush of all time. I'm just going to work this into her skin with that, and I am just going to be pressing this into Kara's face. I absolutely love this brush because I think it applies a pretty decent amount, but it doesn't make it cakey, if that makes sense. So I just absolutely love how it kind of takes any excess product away. And then I'm going to actually be blending this down into Kara's neck just so everything matches. We don't want to see any lines where the foundation starts and the neck starts. Then that didn't make sense. Then I'm just going to use a beauty blender to kind of blend that in her face. Then I'm going to take a spoolie and run through her brows. I absolutely love Kara's brows. They're so great. You don't even have to do that much to them. But I am going to go ahead and take that Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil, and I'm just going to run over her brows just to kind of give them some shape. She has fairly full brows, and so I'm not necessarily trying to fill them in. I'm just trying to shape them, if that makes sense. So as always, I like to start in the middle, work my way out to the tail, and then I will come in the front and kind of brush upwards. I know the clip is kind of hard to see. I was trying really hard not to get in the way of the camera, but obviously I don't know my angles super well, so I'm sorry if you can't really see what I'm doing here. But I am just using short strokes to mimic hair. Like I said, she doesn't really need to be any fuller. We're just giving them some shape. Her brows are really easy to fill in, so this was not a difficult part at all. And everyone is really hyped about this product. Honestly, I don't really know how much I love it. I think it's comparable to Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer, but it was a little bit patchy for my taste. Then I'm just going to go back over with that spoolie just so everything looks nice and blended and natural. And then I am just going to take some Clinique concealer. I'm just going to dot this on her eyes to prime her eyes. This is my favorite way to prime my eyes. I think it just works so well. And then I'm just going to take a beauty blender and just blend that into her eyes just in tapping motions. And then I'm just going to take Rimmel's Stay Matte Powder just to set that. I'm going to take it on another Real Technique sculpting brush. Oh, real quick. And then I'm going to take my Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. Whenever I talk about these colors, because they don't have names, I'm just going to be reading from left to right. So just keep that in mind as I kind of try to describe the colors that I'm using. So first, I use the second row, the first one on the left, as her crease color, kind of as her transition shade. I just buff this into her crease. I absolutely love this color. I just think it's so beautiful, and it looked so good on Kara's skin tone. So I'm just popping that in there so whenever we add other shadows later, they blend nicely. And I'm just using a fluffy Morphe brush for this. And then I mixed two colors, so I mixed the first row, the third one on the first row, and the third one on the second row to get this second crease color. I'm putting this slightly under that first shadow that we put just to add some definition to her eyes. I was going for a really brown, kind of warm toned eye, and these colors mixed together are absolutely beautiful. So I'm just buffing that in. Pretty messily, actually. I wasn't trying to be super careful here. We weren't going for a smoky eye, but we definitely weren't going for like a cut crease either. Then I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and just kind of blend those out. And then I just took the fourth shade on the last row just to add a little bit more definition to her eyes, just to kind of deepen it up. This color almost has like a plum undertone, and I really, really love it. I just think it's so pretty, and it adds a little bit of interest to the look instead of just being straight up brown. I think it adds a little bit more definition, and I absolutely love it. And then I am just going to take a very shimmery highlight shade, that really big one, and I'm just going to take a really small, dense brush, and I'm just going to start really packing this on to the inner half of her eye, just to add a lot of pop, a lot of brightness. This is a very summery look, and so we don't want it to be super, super dark. We just want it to look very, very feminine and very light. And so I'm obviously just going to do that to the other eye, being careful not to go over the parts that we added shadow before. And then I am just going to take a very, very dense, small pencil brush, and I'm just going to take the first row, the fifth one on the first row, that color, sorry, this is hard to describe, the fifth color on the first row, and I'm just going to put this in her outer V just to kind of deepen it up a little bit. We're always going to be trying to add dimension. So I'm just going to blend this in. And then I am just going to take another fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of buff all that out. We don't want to do a lot of blending, but just a little bit, so all of the edges are nice and soft. We don't have any harsh lines, and you can't see where one shadow starts and the other one stops. And then I am just actually going to take that first color and just kind of pop that on the edges just a little bit, just to add a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to take Urban Decay's Naked Skin Concealer. I'm going to put this under her eyes and on the high points of her face. I did make a V, but I didn't fill it in, mainly because I didn't think that this shade was necessarily bright enough for like a nice highlight shade. So I actually chose to go in with another concealer. This is the Maybelline Master Conceal. This is really, really light, and I went in with that right underneath her eyes just to add a little bit more dimension and highlight. And so I'm just applying that with a concealer brush and also down her nose. I really actually liked how this combination worked together. They blended out very nicely, and it looked very pretty. And so I am just going to take my Real Technique sponge and just start tapping this into her face. It kind of looks like I'm like punching her in the face. It's really funny how rough I look right now, but I was being very gentle like in the moment, but right now it looks like I'm like aggressively blending. So I'm going to aggressively blend for the next couple of seconds. This is a super long clip, and I really wish I had something interesting to say about it, but I mean, you know the drill, it's just blending, so we're just gonna keep on watching me blend. I always never know, like with voiceovers, how long to make clips and stuff like that, and so it's just, ugh, like the clips that I need to be longer are always too short, and then these kind of are always too long. Okay, here we go. Next I'm going to take my Mary Kay loose powder, and I'm just going to actually dip my Beauty Blender into that powder and start pressing it under her face. I'm not baking. I repeat, I am not baking. I am just setting it. I really like this method because it really presses the powder into the face and prevents all creasing without like the excess powder of baking. And so I'm just going to dip my wet Beauty Blender into that and dab it underneath her eyes. I'm also going to put it in her T-zone because Cara is oily, and so this is a great oil control method. I'm going to also put this around her nose, just areas where she tends to get oily. If you have oily skin, try this method. It works so well in controlling the oil. And then I'm going to take Rimmel's Stay Matte Powder and just a really fluffy brush. And I'm just going to tap this all over the rest of her face because I always have to set everything. And so I'm just going to lightly buff this into her skin. And then I'm going to take a bronzer. This is MAC's Give Me Sun. This bronzer is so beautiful. I mean, look at it. Yes. And then I'm just going to take a stippling brush, and I'm not trying to contour here. I am just trying to warm up the face, trying to bronze. So I am putting it in areas where you would contour, but I'm doing it very widely, if that makes sense. So I'm not trying to like go in and actually like get a nice sharp cheekbone. I'm just trying to bronze up the face and make it look very warm and tan. And this is going to add dimension later. And then I'm actually going to go back through and just kind of blend it out with tapping. Nothing crazy. We're not going to do circles or windshield wiper motions, just tapping it in. Then I'm going to take NYX Matte Bronzer. I think this is in the shade Medium. And I'm just going to take a really dense brush, and this is when we're going to go in and contour. This is where we're going to try and keep it in a very concentrated area. I'm going to put this right in the middle of that bronzer, and this is going to give so much definition to the face versus just having a straight line with no softness around it. The bronzer that we put on before is really going to add a little bit of softness to that harsh contour that I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to put this hollows of her cheeks up on her temple. If you need more in-depth with contouring, I made a video on that. And then I'm just going to take a blending brush, an eyeshadow brush, and just kind of contour her nose very, very lightly. Again, I'm not super, super huge on nose contouring, but I liked it for this look. And then I'm just going to take that same powder brush that we used before and again, just tap it out. We're not going to be swiping or doing circles. We're just going to be tapping. And then I'm just going to take this Tarteist blush palette. Wait, let me open it. Yes, how beautiful is this palette? Oh my goodness, it is gorgeous. So I'm just going to mix these two colors together for the perfect shade. And I'm just going to take this Walmart brush and just put it on Kara's cheeks, not the apples of her cheeks, but right above, what am I even saying? Right above that bronzer. And I just think that this combo was so beautiful on her skin. I mean, it just looks gorgeous. And if you don't see a blush color that you like, you can always mix blush colors. They're very easy to mix together to get your perfect shade. And then I'm just going to really quickly blend that out just so we don't have any harsh lines. And I'm just using an e.l.f. brush for that. And then I am going to go in with highlighter. I had a product shot for this highlighter, but it was really fuzzy, so I took it out. This is the Laura Geller, I'm pretty sure, highlighter, and this is in Honey, Glazed Honey. I'm so sorry. I'll put it in the description box. Anyway, so I'm just going to put this everywhere that you would put shimmer highlighter. Tops of her cheekbones, down her nose, Cupid's bow on her forehead. We're just going to put this very generously because it is a summery look and I do like a lot of shimmer. And then I'm going to take the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to take Prosecco Pop. This is my favorite technique. You've seen me do it in every video. I like to layer highlighters. I think it makes it look so much better. So I'm just going to put this kind of over top, and I'm also going to put it on the apples of her cheeks. So those aren't blank, but they're not covered in color. And then I'm just going to kind of I'm messing up so bad, I'm sorry. I'm going to go over everything else, and then I'm just going to wet my beauty blender with some setting spray and just tap this into her face. Just so it doesn't look like powder sitting on her face, it looks like a glow from within. I do this every time I apply highlighter, and it has never failed me. It just looks so beautiful. And then I'm just going to go in with the darkest shade that I used in that chocolate bar palette, and I'm just going to take a flat definer brush and run that underneath Kara's eyes. We're not going to do any eyeliner in her waterline because I just think that looks a little harsh. So I'm just going to lightly smudge this underneath her eye. Kind of messily, honestly. It's nothing crazy. This eye is super, super easy to do, so we're just going to, put that on. Okay, and then I am lining her lips with a NYX lip liner. I completely forgot the name of it. Again, I will put everything in the description box because I'm just doing a terrible job of products right now. I'm so sorry. So I'm just lining her lips. This is just like a nude pinky lip liner. It's really not that important because the main attraction of this lip is the lipstick that I'm about to show you guys in 1 minute. And that product shot actually ended up looking good. So yay me. So the lipstick that I'm using is called Moxie, and it is by Bare Minerals, and I'm just going to put this on her lips. Kara actually, this is hers, she brought it over and she showed it to me, and I was like, yes! I was like, girl, that is so pretty. And so I was so excited to use it on her, and it just looks beautiful. So high five to you, Kara, for being so awesome at picking out lip colors. And I'm sorry, again, head is in the way. Angles, I need to work on it. So sorry. But, I mean, you know how to put lipstick on, hopefully, so, it'll be fine. And then Kara just used her Lash Sensational mascara from Maybelline to do her own mascara. I really hate putting mascara on other people, and because Kara is not someone who is paying me or a real client, I was like, girl, you can do this on your own, so she did that. And then I'm actually going to go back in and put a little bit more highlight just on her Cupid's bow and the tip of her nose. I know I'm excessive, but I wanted to, and I think it turned out beautiful. So I'm just doing that real quick. And then I'm just going to blend everything out with that same big Eco Tools brush that I've been using, just so we don't have any harsh lines. And then I'm just going to set her face with some setting spray. This is from Mary Kay. Again, the product shot was terrible, so there we go. And this is the finished look, guys. I think it turned out so good. Yes, girl, work. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. Give them a nice profile view. Nice, yes. This is the finished look that we have here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, I'm debating on what I want my next video to be. I'm either going to do a skincare routine or like a chit chat get ready with me. So comment down below what you want to see next, because I'll probably film both, but it just is a matter of like what I get up first. If you like this video and you want to get notified every time I upload, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll just get notified whenever I upload, so you can watch my videos more frequently. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks guys, bye. Bye. Get it? No. You talk sometimes.
You know what? I claim this kid.
I claim this cyst.
Good. Have to hurt you if you didn't.
You guys.
I ain't thinking about you.
He only want me when I'm not there. You better call Becky with the good hair.
With the good hair?
You better call Becky with the good hair.
Better call Becky with the good hair. Little guy.
But if you're gonna be in here, you have to be quiet, okay? Okay. Anyway. Yeah.
Harassing people since 2003. Thug life.
Slay. Slay, slay. Slay, slay. And slay some more. Okay, now